What is poppin', Janis Joplin? I figured that before the Oscars, we could go over some of the April things to look forward to, April things that I have already watched that you need to watch, so some suggestions on what to watch right now. And also, we're going to be remembering DMX and Helen McCrory. Probably pronouncing Helen McCrory very wrong, but I'm sure she'll forgive me. Mostly because she's dead. If you haven't seen Peaky Blinders yet, Peaky Blinders is on Netflix. She's great in it. She stars in it. The show is not over yet. I believe that they're having one more season and a movie, and it's going to be hard to watch without her. She's probably my favorite badass character in it. She also played Malfoy's mom in Half-Blooded Prince, Deathly Hallows, and Deathly Hallows Part 2. You can watch Half-Blooded Prince on Hulu and the rest of the films on Sling. And she also voices Stelmaria in His Dark Materials. It's only a handful of episodes that her voice is lent in, but if you'd like to watch that, it's a pretty good show. I haven't watched the second season yet, but that's on HBO Max. And moving on to someone that most people know very, very well, and that is DMX. Oh, oh! Probably making the neighbors think that I released a dog because that was so good. Very, very sad to hear what happened to him. I'm sure that you heard that he passed away this month. If you would like to watch some films that he's in, he was actually a very, very good actor. Not only just a rapper, but he has been in other things. But you can find Never Die Alone on Cinemax. You can also find Cradle to the Grave on HBO Max. Exit Wounds and Romeo Must Die are very good films as well, very good action films as well. But I couldn't find one of the streaming services that I have, so that means you'll probably have to pay for it because I can only find it for about $3 on sites like Amazon or Apple TV or YouTube. And the one that he's most well known for, starring alongside Nas, is Belly. Belly is on Hulu right now. Watch it. It's directed by a music video director, so the cinematography is some of the best cinematography I've ever seen. But it's a classic. Watch Belly on Hulu. But if you're looking for like his best acting, 100%, it's Cradle to the Grave, which is on HBO Max. Check that out. That's a very, very underrated film. Moving on to something a little more lighter, or should I say a little more higher. 420 is about to come to us. Apparently, I'm high from fumes from the future because I can't complete sentences. But 420 is happening 3 days from this filming day. 420 Blaze Up is on Tuesday. So I wanted to tell you some of my favorite stoner flicks. And some of my favorite stoner flicks are How High. That is my favorite one. Half Baked is everyone else's favorite, but How High is my 100% favorite. Don't watch How High 2. It's not good. But if you want to watch How High, that is on Hulu. Friday is a classic. That is on Cinemax. So if you have a subscription to that, check it out. Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back is another one of my favorites. You need to watch if you like Jay and Silent Bob, you should watch all Jay and Silent Bob movies. But Strikes Back is like the biggest one. So you should probably just watch that. That's on HBO Max. Let's see if I can go over the Kevin Smith universe. It is Clerks, Mallrats. Mallrats is another good stoner one. Chasing Amy, probably my favorite Kevin Smith film. Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, and Clerks 2, and Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, which I don't know what is on right now, but it's okay. But Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back is on HBO Max. They're all good. They're all pretty good stoner flicks, except for Chasing Amy. I wouldn't say that's much of a stoner flick, per se. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I've never been a big Bill and Ted fan, but anyone that talks like this, I would say is relatively worth calling a stoner flick. And that is on HBO Max. Half Baked, I couldn't find a streaming service that had it, except for one called Fubo. Not Fubu, but Fubo. And I'd never heard of that, but it's about $4 on other streaming sites. Fast Times at Ridgemount High is another classic. However, there's no streaming site that's playing it for free, so you can order that off of Vudu, Amazon, YouTube for about $4. They should have made it $5. You think they would do that for stoner flicks, or make it free on 420? Maybe they will. I doubt it though. Also, there is Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, another one of my favorite stoner flicks that you can watch on Hulu. And finally, worth mentioning is The Big Lebowski, Coen Brothers stoner flick that you can watch on Cinemax as well. But I don't have a prescription of that either. So that's for the 420 films. Here are some things that I've watched over the month that I think are absolutely worth mentioning that need your attention right away. There is the animated series called Invincible. Invincible is on Amazon Prime. They're about, I believe, 6 episodes in. They release on Fridays. If I were you, if you've never heard of it, you're not seeing any spoilers online, wait till the season is over and then binge it. At first, I was like, this is very easy. Then it gets violent, which is their hook, but then the show gets progressively better. It's an animated series about a kid turning into a superhero along with his superhero father with some secrets as he teaches his son how to be a superhero. Very, very good animated series, especially if you like... There's another show... People compare it to The Boys. I think the violence is compared to The Boys, but it's not silly. It's funny a lot of times, but you just check it out if you like superhero stuff. It's on Amazon Prime. Wu-Tang: An American Saga came out last year, but that's the show I'm currently watching, and it's very, very good. It's on Hulu. Check it out if you haven't. Season 2 is happening. I'm not sure when, but I enjoy it a lot. If you don't know who Wu-Tang Clan is, watch the show and then maybe look up their music. Made for Love is on HBO Max. The season just finished. I believe it's 8 episodes long. It stars Kristen Milotti and a big dude. The very, very silly man from Game Night who played like the dumb guy who usually plays that character. But it's basically about a billionaire who has a girl kidnapped as his wife and has a chip implanted in her head, so they can be made for love by synchronizing. At first, the first 2 episodes I really, really enjoyed it, but the rest of the series I was like, I don't know. It didn't really adapt. It kind of it's kind of stale for a lot of episodes. The end of the first season, though, has a good cliffhanger that makes me want to watch season 2. But I will say that Billy Magnussen is the star's name. Billy Magnussen's character is actually a lot more three-dimensional than I thought originally. And it's basically he plays a tech billionaire who doesn't like the outside world and doesn't know how to conform to it. So that's what kind of makes him a little evil when it comes to having Kristen's character under his control, always under surveillance. But it is about the rights to a relationship and how much someone deserves privacy and not controlling them as well, especially when it comes to a female. But it's very, very good. Well, it's got interesting ideas. I think season 2 will be a lot better, but season 1, like I said, there's a big lull in the middle episodes. It's worth checking out. I'd say it's a good rom-com series for couples to watch, maybe. But besides that, if you run out of things to watch and this sounds interesting to you, check it out. Them is the highlights of this month, 100%. It is so depressing. It's fucking scary at times. It is about a black family that moves into a Midwest, that moves from the South into the Midwestern suburbia into a white neighborhood. George Clooney tried this with Suburbicon, starring Matt Damon. He had 2 different storylines. One was about Matt Damon's family and some weird shit going on there, and another was based off of a true story about a black family moving into the suburbs. That movie wasn't good. It was 2 completely different plots that he tried to mesh together, and it was all over the place. I didn't enjoy it. Them is an excellent series created by an artist, not rap artist, but like an artist. I'd call him an artist because I think the writing in this is very, very well made. His name is Little Marvin. I'm not very familiar with his work, but many people think that it's stealing elements from Get Out or Us. but when you watch the series, it's its own thing. It's got supernatural elements that make it scary, but the racism itself is scary as well. It's so well made. It's so well made, but it's so difficult to watch. It is an anthology series, which means that each season is going to be its own story. So check it out. I'm very excited to see what we have in store for season 2. But it is very difficult to watch, and it gets crazier and adaptable, and it's excellent. Some of the best acting I've seen, some of the best excuse me, I just ate. Some of the best cinematography I've ever seen. It's incredible. It's a great show. I'd say it's one of the best shows I've ever seen. Thunder Force is on Netflix. It's a Melissa McCarthy movie co-starring Octavia Spencer, Jason Bateman, and Bobby Cannavale. I fell asleep. And when I noticed that it was still playing as I was tossing and turning, I shut it off immediately. This movie's not good. I couldn't get as far as Jason Bateman. My mom's like, it's kind of funny. It's not good. It's not a good movie. Not Poppin'. Skip it. No Thunder Force. Boo. I shouldn't talk shit about people that are trying to make movies. I'm sure that there's a crowd of people. If you like Melissa McCarthy, I'm sure you'll like this movie. I tolerate Miss Melissa McCarthy. There's some movies I enjoy. This was not one of them. Sorry, but don't watch Thunder Force. And I wanted to mention a movie called Synchronic, which just came out on Netflix. And it has Anthony Mackie and Jamie Dornan, who did... I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong. 50 Shades of Grey, which I never watched. He plays Christian Grey, I believe. I've watched scenes of it, but I've not watched the movie. It's a weird movie, but the directors are really, 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 really good. If you like weird indie movies, check it out. I haven't finished yet because I want to see if Josh wants to watch it with me, because it seems like an experience that you want to share with others to say, what the fuck is going on? This is one of them. I haven't finished it, but I will tell you the first 20, 30 minutes is like, this is fucking weird in a cool way. Synchronic on Netflix. I'm probably going to do a podcast on the directors because they have their own kind of genre, and it's really, really cool. All right, now we're going to move on to the rest of April, I believe starting on the 22nd. Maybe some beforehand. So this video is going to come out kind of early, but that's because I'm going to do an Oscars video. So look out for that. But if you want to know what to watch for the rest, or look forward to for the rest of April, let's start with Disney Plus. Falcon and Winter Soldier has one episode left. If you want to finish all of Marvel, watch it. But if you want to hear why I don't really love it, listen to the other episodes that I recorded with Dan. Other thing on Disney Plus is called Big Shot. It has John Stamos and Yvette Nicole Brown. I don't know what it's about. Worth mentioning. I think it's one of their big shows, so maybe it's worth watching. Over to Amazon Prime. April 26th is The Artist. Great film if you haven't watched it before. It's basically a new silent film. It's not for everybody, but if you haven't watched it before, it won Best Picture years ago. April 28th is the alien flick Arrival, starring Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner. Absolutely worth it. I didn't love the ending, but it's worth watching. Pretty creepy. April 30th, I'm pretty excited for this, is Tom Clancy's Without Remorse, starring Michael B. Jordan. It looks like a dope action film, good revenge flick starring him. So that's something to look forward to. Moving on to Hulu. April 28th is the return of The Handmaid's Tale, Season 4. I quit the show after Season 2. No, I watched some episodes of Season 3. It's an excellent show, but it's so depressing. Like Them, the show I talked about a little bit ago, I think that I'm going to eventually stop watching that because it is very depressing, but at least it's new stories. This, I know it's adapting, and I hear it's okay now, but she makes a decision at the end of Season 2 that makes me go, how long is this show going to go on? And apparently, I think I read an article that they can go as long as like 8 seasons. and I'm good. It's too long. It's way too long. Its themes are very important. Elizabeth Moss's acting is excellent. So I recommend that if you like the first few episodes of Handmaid's Tale, try to go as far as you can because the new season's coming out on April 28th on Hulu. It's a great show. I just couldn't watch it anymore. Also, Arrival's going to be on Hulu. Over to HBO Max. April 23rd, Mortal Kombat! Oof. Finish him. End this, please. Heard. Mortal Kombat's going to be on HBO Max and in theaters on April 23rd. It was supposed to be this week on April 16th, but it didn't come out. They got pushed back a week for some reason. I'm curious why, but who cares? It's coming out soon. Mortal Kombat 1, I think you have to order, but Annihilation, the second one, which is known as one of the worst movies ever made, is on HBO Max as well. Also premiering is Black Lady Sketch Show Season 2. Black Lady Sketch Show Season 1 you can also watch on HBO Max. I'm very excited for the show to return. It's hilarious. I love it. And finally, over to Netflix. On there right now that people should watch, Synchronic, which I mentioned. The Master, which is a Paul Thomas Anderson film that I'm going to have to rewatch because I think it's my least favorite Paul Thomas Anderson film, but it does have the late Philip Seymour Hoffman in it, Joaquin Phoenix, and Amy Adams. So it's good. It's just my least PTA favorite film. On April 22nd is a film called Stowaway, which is a astronaut film with Amy Adams, Toni Collette, Jin from Lost, I don't, Daniel Day Kim, I think his real name is, and another actor I'm not familiar with. But basically, it's 3 astronauts in space that find a stowaway, and I think he doesn't remember how he got there, and they figure out that they only have enough oxygen for 3 people, so you got to figure out who to kill. It doesn't look. That's a good hook. We found another person, but I don't know. It doesn't look like anything special. And if I said Amy Adams, I meant Anna Kendrick. I love Anna Kendrick, and I love Toni Collette. So I'm going to wait to see what other people say, but I have a feeling it's going to be a stinker. But that will be Netflix's new Netflix film of April, besides Thunder Force. April 23rd is their new series Shadow and Bone, which looks like a very heavy budget show that's a Netflix original. It has... I think his name was Billy in The Punisher. It looks like a kind of like a Game of Thrones type of series that Netflix is trying out. It looks okay. Looks very expensive. I don't know if this is another show I'm going to wait to hear about, but it is a highlight that you should look out for. On April 27th is August Osage County. A very good film based off the play, and Battle Los Angeles, underrated action film starring Aaron Eckhart, alien invasion movie. And on April 29th is another big movie, Things Heard and Seen, starring the beautiful and Academy Award nominated Amanda Seyfried, probably pronouncing her name wrong. It's a horror movie. It looks okay. I'll watch it because I like horror movies even if they're bad. Horror is probably the most difficult genre to film, so I'm going to give that a shot. And finally, on April 30th, this was a lot longer than I thought it was, sorry. But on April 30th is The Innocent. It is a Netflix original series based off of a Harlan Coben novel. It's foreign, so there's subtitles. Deal with it. Just fucking watch it. It looks really good. It looks really, really good. Check out the trailer. And that's it. Thank you for listening. And X gonna give it to you.